Kirk Duckwall here with your Twin Cities real estate agent news for April 2026. Well, we've seen a big change in showing activity. So what does that mean for our market? Well, we'll get into that in just a second. But wanted to mention a class that I'm going to be hosting, Maximizing the Open House. So we're going to be getting into where, when, for how long, the preparations to do, the things to bring, to hand out, as well as the questions to ask to get the most out of that open house with prospective buyers. So that class is going to be open for all agents across the Twin Cities area. No matter the brokerage, you're welcome to come. That will be May 12th from 12 to 1. So if you're looking to gain more clients at one of the best places, which is open houses, come check out that class. All right, let's dive into what's going on in our Twin Cities market. Okay, so showing activity. Wanted to just really start off with that, and then we'll get into where that's looking like it's going. But yeah, we've seen a pretty dramatic shift from early in the year where we were running behind by decent percentage points to kind of leveling out, tracking very similar to last year, and now jumping ahead. So let's take a look at what that looks like on the spreadsheet here. So here we have showings per week per listing average for the median sale price range, kind of 250 to 500K for last week, 4.41. We do see that coming down from a 4.95. And that's still behind last year of a 5.31, so down 17%. But that's showing more of an inventory thing than it is a showing issue at this point. Because if we look at the total showings for the last few weeks, we can see that it went from a 3386 jumping up to 3926, putting us ahead over last year by 12%. So that's really showing us that inventory is up. The association's currently saying it's about between 5 and 7%, depending on the week here. I wouldn't be surprised to see those numbers start to grow a little bit more, so more options for buyers. But the showing activity is actually a pretty positive sign for a turnaround in our marketplace. Keep in mind, we go back into January and we can see showing activity down 28%, down 30%, down 21%, and now we're ahead by 8. This is putting us for the year only down 7%. So that's some really positive news out there. Also, we're seeing that showing activity booked out over the next week, over the next few weeks on coming soon properties, still holding strong, and the engagement percentage within searches at a decent point. So basically, the number of people that are actively engaging into their searches that are set up. Also, the buyers that are engaged a lot, and you probably have noticed that if you've been out there, especially in the single family market. Okay, so I want to look at some data from InfoSparks here. So pending sales down 2.7%, but I think we can see a shift coming in that. And again, this is better than where it was a couple of months ago. I can see this shifting back towards very similar numbers to where we were last year. So I want to point out, if we look at the single family market only, that's kind of where we're at. We're very close, only down 0.3%. So we are seeing some shifts in the market, and I think when we get a little bit farther out, we are going to see even more positive changes. We'll get into that with the forecasts here in just 1 second. First, I want to talk about interest rates. So bond market, from our March peaks here, we are seeing it slowly making its way down. Little jumps, hills and valleys basically, but overall coming down. So that has brought interest rates back down, peaking out at about 6.64, now down to a 6.33. This is national average here. All right, let's take a look at some of those forecasts. Want to look at the almanac first. So mortgage purchase index, basically number of people that are applying, it's at a decent point. It's not at our highest points. Actually, our highest points, we have to go back into that November, December timeline. And there were a lot of buyers that purchased October, November, December. Part of the reason we started out a little bit slower was buyers being taken out of the market. Inventory of homes is creeping up, but I want you to pay attention to this. As inventory of homes is creeping up here, market meter has actually been holding relatively stable. And I think with the increased showing activity, that may stay that way a little bit longer, even longer than maybe the forecasting model is showing. Let's look at that model here real quick. So here is our market meter basically putting this coming week, the week that we're in this weekend, as the peak week in that market meter timeline. But the market meter is basically maximum velocity into that marketplace before dropping back off. We can see, though, that the showing activity is projected to hold longer, keeping us in a stronger position until that May 10th timeline. This is why we see, when it comes to our peak sale prices, a projected peak price for the month of May at $407,959. All right, hopefully you found this information valuable. For advice for your buyers, if it's been a little tough, be patient. It will get better. But as I mentioned, single family, things are a bit tighter out there right now. And with the activity over the next few weeks, it's probably still going to stay pretty competitive. For sellers, good news is, hey, we get a little bit longer extended market pushing what may normally be a March or April peak into a late April or early May peak. And we're seeing the same to hold true for higher price points as well. All right, take care and have a great week.